don't do anything yet. Hey guys, okay, I'm gonna send the link from this live into the other live because for some reason it's locked me out and I cannot get in there. And I'm trying desperately to now find the other one. There we go. Oh, for the love of all things that are holy. There we go. Copy link. Now I need to go in here.
2 people found us.
Okay.
Gotta have a little Friday night drama.
Okay, sorry guys. It looks like people are figuring it out. Yeah, Hot Mess Express. I don't know what happened. It just all of a sudden, it just like froze and shut down. I couldn't move the mouse. Nothing. Like all of a sudden, I was like, really? Right now? This is when you're gonna do this? So, which it sucks because I think I know what happened, but there's nothing I can do about it now. So it is what it is. So it might be. That's no lie. So thank you guys for slowly trickling back in. I posted the link in the other live. Hopefully people see it and aren't just completely fed up at this point. We'll see. So thank you for those of you that have stuck with me here for the last couple minutes and have like transferred over to the new live.
What did I get on my shirt? Dog fuzz.
Of course. So anyway, thank you all. Borning, Texas. Whoop, whoop. So yeah, we had a lot of rain this week. So, and we had hail and I mean, nothing like what some of the weather you guys are getting right now with the snow and the ice and the sleet and the whatever. But, you know, so we've had the fire cranked for pretty much all week, actually. I've just basically kept it going and just making it happen. So, so yeah. Okay. Why don't you go wash your hands? That's not going to work.
Woo!
Yeah, go wash your hands.
I my hands.
Yeah, let's not do that. Oh, you got busted with snow, Doug? No biggie. Oh, dusted with snow, not busted. Okay, there we go. That's good. Yeah, so I'm back. I figured it out. I don't know what happened. I mean, I kind of think I maybe know what happened, but basically my computer locked me out and then it wouldn't let me back into YouTube. Was freaking out. And so then I was like, screw it, I'll go live from my phone. But then right when I said that and got the tripod, it finally let me back in. I mean, I couldn't access the current live any longer, and I can't stop it either. It's just in perpetuity. It's just apparently going to be frozen. I don't know. I would love that. Come on, homesteading. I'd love to come to Arkansas and do a Friday night, a fired up Friday. Yeah, that looked like a good time. You know, hang out with Mel and all you guys. Yeah, I would love it. It would be fun. Be fun. Maybe, I think we might be able to manage to do that at the hotel because I think Jason said, and I think I remember seeing pictures of like they have like barbecues out there. I bet we can throw something together because if for anybody staying in the hotel they have like a little kitchen kind of situation going on. So we could probably throw together a decent barbecue amongst us all and just do like a family style situation. I don't know. I'm down. Exactly. We can do it. We can cook on anything. Exactly. Exactly. All I need is a big lighter and a spatula, and I can make you a feast. That's all I need. Emma from Sunny's Place. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I cannot wait. I love going different places, number one. And I know it might seem funny just because like, you know, people usually come to California to vacation and I'm going to Oklahoma for vacation, but it's more my speed, I think. So and some sipping cream. There we go. Is that what the kids are calling it these days? I don't know. Whoop, whoop. I love it. Oh, what's that? Hey, Nava down south, $5 super chat. Thank you, Nava. It's going, man. I know. I got to get to the Karen story. You guys are gonna die. So yeah, I'm just let maybe a few more kind of trickle over from the live that I screwed up, because it's hard. Julie C wants to know how you travel when you got a farm. Who takes care of the animals? This particular time, Mike will be home. I am taking Frankie with me. Last time, Frankie pretty much took care of the animals, and Mike just had to worry about taking her to school. This time, I'm taking her with me, so I'm terrified. Mike is not the animal guy as much. I mean, he's not bad with them. I don't mean to make it sound like they're all gonna be dead when I get back. He just he's not as with the animals as I am. They're not as important to him in the sense that like he doesn't vibe with them in the same way. And some of my animals he likes more than others. I notice how I call them my animals. But he will be in charge. My girlfriend Jen will be on speed dial in case catastrophe strikes. But yeah, I'll just have to go over like write everything out for him. Like he doesn't even know how much the dogs eat. Like I mean, we're going basic here. He doesn't know inside animals, outside animals. He doesn't know what to give them if one of them like freaks out, and like he has no idea. So it's gonna be interesting for those few days. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous about that situation, but we're gonna make it work. It's gonna be okay. So hire a stable boy. I know. Can I get a stable boy? I wouldn't be opposed to the idea. We'll name him Ramon, and he can walk around in cut off shorts and no, I'm just kidding. No. Um, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, it is a little tricky when we all go somewhere. I do have a friend. He's a really close family friend. He's actually, and I've talked about him before. I actually did a video on it once about like how to prepare to leave when you've got this kind of situation where you've got a farm or a homestead or something that you've got animals that you're responsible for. And so Frankie's godmother, one of my really, really good girlfriends, Pablo the pool boy. Yes, we usually say Ramon, but I could get down with a Pablo, bring me a margarita and go muck out a salt, like a 2-for combo. I'm down. So anyway, her son who's like close to 30 now. He's like a grown up now. I still think of him as being like 12, but he's not. He's like a grown up. He's like this. Anyway, he comes and stays at the house and takes care of the animals while we're gone, and he's been doing it for us for years and years, and he's great. So we just let that roll and works for us. So get him to do some spring cleaning. I don't think Robin. I don't know if I can get Mike to do that. He's going to do some because we did talk about like him kind of clearing out some of the stuff in the garage and some of the stuff in the shed and kind of like going through his tools and seeing like what do we need to keep all of this, can we get rid of some of it. So there will be some of that, but basically the inside of the house is going to fall to me. So there's pretty much like 300 square feet that I'm responsible for, 3,000 square feet that I'm responsible for. And then he's going to have his shed, the garage, and whatever else. So we'll see. And then some of it we'll do together. But so that being said, part of the spring cleaning, so get to my Karen story. I explain to you now. Okay. So, but here's the deal, guys. Let me preface it with, this was like a good lesson, I think, for a good lesson / reminder for all of us to just kind of come at things gently, even when you kind of feel like you're being a little bit attacked. You don't know what's going on in somebody's world, and sometimes you have to remember that other people have stuff going on that you're not privy to, and it might cause them to be a way that you wouldn't necessarily act in the same situation, right? So as I mentioned, spring cleaning, including some of the animals. So I had these last couple Cornish crosses that were holdovers from the end of last season. So we processed everybody else, and we had some stuff going on. There was some stuff going on where we just, every week that we were like, okay, these guys, we need to process them. Like, we need to get, oh, this would happen, and we had to deal with this, and it was just like, it was just one of those things where it wasn't lining up for us to get it done. And so, and we're just down to like a handful of them. And because as I mentioned before, we've done hundreds of birds a year in the past, and we process them and then we sell them. So this year, and I'm good, like, I keep us on a schedule. Like, we do a few of them at 6 weeks, we do a few of them at maybe 12 weeks, and then we do a bunch around the 16-week mark and let them get a lot bigger. So like I said, this last batch was more like closer to like 30-week range, which, for those of you who don't know what a Cornish cross is, it's basically a genetic chicken, genetically crossed bird. So it starts out with two birds that are legit, right? But then they kind of cross them and get these offspring, right? And these offspring, you can't really breed together. I mean, you technically can, but you're going to get weird genetic anomalies. It's just the way it is, right? And so a lot of times they call them like the test tube chickens or whatever, because they're sort of like little Frankensteins, and they grow really fast. And because of the way that they are done, some years you'll get batches that grow like super fast, and then other years you get batches that are a little bit more slow to start or never get quite as big. It's just like, and you could feed them the same thing from year to year. We pasture them. Like, it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, every once in a while you just get a group that, like, sometimes, like, I've had one time I had to call the hatchery and they had to send me an entirely new batch, because on the second day I had them, this one batch just like all died. And I was like, what? Like, what's up? So, and that happens. Like, there's sometimes you get a bad batch where something happened in transport where they got too cold or whatever, and they were kind of when I got them, and then they just never really recovered. So, but I've also, and in fact, we did a video on it. We had, as an experiment, let a few of the ones that had been pastured and then free range. I think there was like 4 of them that we had. That we let them free range out with the girls and the regular layers, and we let them go for a year just to see what would happen. And nothing happened. Like, they were fine. Now, granted, some of the ones that their legs will break, the ones that get like really large. Now, what I find is generally people tend to overfeed them in a short period of time. They don't adhere to the correct feed schedule. So they tend to just feed them way too much. They get too big too fast. They outgrow their legs, and they literally will break them. And their hearts they'll have heart attacks. So, but if you pasture them and you're not keeping them in a cramped area and you feed them accordingly, you can kind of stretch them out a little bit for when you need to, because sometimes your butchering schedule is such that you need to kind of do that, right? So, and I'm not to say this that you're like starving them by any means, but you're not, like, some people legitimately overfeed them. Like, I had one person tell me that they were like, yeah, the chickens ate until their crops exploded and they all died. And I'm like, you gave them too much access to food. Like, you overfed them. You literally fed them to death. Like, that is one of the 7 deadly sins. Like, that chicken was gluttonous. So, Sam, I am. Thank you. $20 super chat. Country girls have their names on the back of their belts. They do. I do not have the name on the back of my belt right now. I'm not even wearing a belt. So there's that. I'm a total failure. So, but thank you, Sam. I am. Appreciate you. Woo-hoo. I love it. So, so yeah, that's awesome. I love a good super chat. Gotta love it. So anyway, so going back to the birds here, my Karen story. So yes, these birds were a little bit older but like I said, I don't keep them in conditions where they're going to drop dead from being confined and just feeding them 24/7 like, veal, right? So, right, exactly. They're spunky even on harvest day. Emma from Sunny's Place says that she raised them too. You track them. It's very different than when I've done them in a more like the first year we did them. Like we'd only lived here for like it was like our first spring here. Like we'd been here for a matter of weeks, and we got a few. I think we got like 10 total, and I had them in a dog run that we have in the back there, just on concrete, and they in a few weeks they were like couldn't couldn't hardly get up and get to their water, and I was like, I don't like this. So we started, when we did them the next year, we did them for real. We pastured, we made the tractor, the whole 9 yards. So it's a huge difference in how you raise these birds, right? So I had posted that I had a few available. I didn't think to even specify their age because I know the conditions of my birds. Like they're fine and they've been pastured. And I said that in, my advertisement, I guess you would say, right? So I had this one gal. Now keep in mind too, where I posted this, I'm an admin on several of the groups in our area for livestock and things of that nature, right? So I approve, deny, and whatever a lot of posts. So she messages me, hey, seriously? Can we not? Hey, stop it. So she messages me and she's like asking me questions, and then she went, how much are they? How many are there? Blah blah blah. All that. Lundy, come here. Lundy, leave it. No bark. Settle down. Sorry guys. She's a misbehaving girl today. What are you gonna do? So anyway, and then she asked, after a few other questions, she asked what their hatch date was, which I kind of thought was weird, like just because I posted pictures of them. So it was clear that they were ready for harvest. They were healthy, ready to go. It was clear I wasn't like, they weren't chicks that I was, So and I told her, I said, well, they're roughly this many weeks, blah blah blah, and she just went off on me about how I was deceiving her and misrepresenting this and that, and just proceeded to just berate and attack me. And I was like, whoa. I was like, is she having a different conversation that I'm having? Like, what is this, right? And something told me, like, there's something else going on here, because this is very odd. This whole exchange is very odd. So I said, I'm sorry. I think maybe there's been some misunderstanding here. And I reiterated everything again very carefully about how these are pastured birds and there's nothing wrong with them. We legitimately just had some things come up and did not get to butcher this last handful. We just, that's the situation we're in. And so my loss is your gain. So, I did all the hard work. All you have to do is process them. She continues to go after me, just balls to the wall, just attacking me in this message, like over and over and over again. And how I'm deceitful and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm just like, okay. I go, I'm not sure what's going on. I said, I've answered everything you've asked. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I'm an admin on this page that you saw this post on. I've approved your posts in the past. Like, I don't have anything against you. Like, I don't understand what this is. I'm not sure what's going on for you that you're kind of attacking me right now. And I don't feel like it's warranted. And I was very kind to my responses, just was very, and finally, through just kind of like, I would almost read you guys the thing, but it's like, lots of drama. But finally I get to the point in the conversation where I was like, I'm sorry you feel that way. I adjusted my posting to prove I'm not trying to hide anything. I just legitimately didn't think that that was a big deal, that they were the age they were because they're pastured and free ranging, and I just didn't think it was a big deal. Um, I ate a bird out of that batch that we butchered just a few weeks before that was fine. Like they're fine. So anyway, so I was just trying to basically, I just felt like I said, I felt like something was off, and I just wanted to was trying to be kind to her, but still I wasn't just going to sit down and take it either with some of the things that she was saying. I was polite, I was kind, but I was definitely asserting that no, this is not what is happening here, you know, but in a kind way. So after the last exchange, she said, "I'm sorry." She goes, "I must have gotten up on the wrong side of the bed. All of the things that's going on." I guess she has friends that are in Ukraine, and they were trying to message her and contact her, and they could tell her, you know, that their windows were rattling, and she was very scared for them, and she'd been very upset. And I said, "I'm so sorry to hear that." I said, "You know, you and your friends will be in my thoughts and prayers. I 100% understand." And, you know, and then she went on to apologize again. "I'm so sorry. I should not have taken this frustration out on you in this way. You know, I'm sorry," you know, kind of thing. And, you know, at first, obviously, throughout parts of that exchange with her, this was all via like Messenger. I was like, oh, you know, at times, like, we're like, your instinct is to get defensive with it. Where does she get off? Like, you know, like she don't know me, you know, but and some of the things that she said were definitely attacking my character, which was like, you know, and if you know me, that's something that you know, I pride myself in being there for my friends and being honest about stuff when it comes to anything as far as, you know, it's just, you just want to, you know, you reap what you sow. And so if you're putting crap out in the world, you're going to get crap back, right? So you want to put good stuff out in the world so you get good stuff back, right? So it's a karma thing, you know, it's simple. So, but I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know, it was a good reminder. And that's what kind of what I wanted to share it with you guys, because, you know, I went kind of the gamut of emotions in this very short period of time with this exchange with this woman, because I could have written her off right off the bat as, oh, she's just a nasty Karen. Like, what does she know? Like, I don't need to put up with her crap, and I could just dish it right back to her. And I could have, if I wanted to, I could have blocked her and removed her from the group. I could have been petty. I could have blasted her to the rest of the group and said, don't, you know, I could have badmouthed her. I could have done a lot of things on the negative end of the spectrum. And after, you know, after this whole exchange was done and I had time to kind of pull back and look at the whole thing and think about it, I was like, you know, going through that whole conversation with her, you get to a point that there's a reason that we have to sometimes have patience and kind of come from a place of grace with other people when we are coming up a little up against some hostility or frustration. It doesn't mean you're always going to get through to that other person. I have had situations in my life where no amount of honey calmed that vinegar down. But in this instance, it worked. And I think in this instance, she needed a little bit of a virtual hug, if you will. She was having a bad day. She was worried about her friend. She was in a bad spot. And, you know, yeah, did she take it out on me a little bit? Yeah. Did she need to vent a little bit, maybe? Yeah. Does it, at the end of the day, does it really affect me that she did? No. Was I able to maybe make her feel a little bit better at the end of all of that? I don't know. Maybe a little bit, you know. You know, I don't know if she's religious or if the thought of me praying for them and wishing them well and thinking about them meant anything to her or not. It seemed to, and maybe that impacted her day just a little bit in a positive way. So, with all that being said, that was the whole experience, and I felt like it was good because I know we talk a lot about like we get, especially those of us that have channels, we get some haters. We get you guys that we love, that you interact with us, and that we get to be able to do this, and you watch our stupid videos that we put out, and still support us and all that good stuff. But Amber, Happy Quack Farms. Amber's like, you're so much nicer than me. No, that's not true. I think sometimes it's important to remember, like, we have to be patient with other people sometimes, even if it's not our gut instinct right off the bat. Like, we have to, remind ourselves, like, it's not even just being nice. It's kind of like observing a situation. And, some people, I guess, are maybe better at it than others. I haven't always been good at it in my life, but where you can kind of gauge something's off with that person right now. This is not their authentic self that they're being right now. There's something funky happening. And I'm sure there's times where somebody walked away from me going, oh, Karen, you know what I mean? But we all have our moments, but, oh, Sam, I am. $20 super chat. What is going on? Karens will leave me alone if I put the name on the back of my on my belt. They know what that means, right? I know. I'm missing some of you guys' chat because I'm over here like talking so much. Oh, well, I don't tell you guys this to, like, if some of you guys are saying, no, I'm so nice and all this. I didn't want to share this story. I'm not trying to make myself look good. Okay. That's not what this is. I just really took it as, because there was a fork in the road at one point where I was like, I have a decision to make. I can go full bitch mode. I can block her. I can remove her from the group. I can tell her off. I can cuss her out. I can do all kinds of things. But my gut was just telling me, like, that's not the right thing to do in this scenario. Like, something's not right. Like, what her response is to what I'm saying, it's like she's talking to somebody else. It just didn't make sense, right? So I'm like, are we even having the same conversation? And sometimes people have a bad day and they don't stop to think about it. You're right, Terry. Like, they just kind of project it out. And I think that, there's some of us, I'm sure, have experienced to some degree or another, whether it's through YouTube or through something else, that you've had a keyboard warrior kind of get after you at some point for something or another, whether it was like in another chat group and somebody attacked you or said something nasty. Like, and honestly, it was something that I learned waitressing and bartending, was to when it like, and I swear this is like the basis of it too. Sometimes, and women are kind of, I hate to say this about us ladies, but we sometimes can be a little bit more catty than we should, and a little more judgy than we should be. And when I was waitressing, part of my job is to come around to the tables and to ask your husband if he needs another beer, right? That's part of my job. And so what I learned right off the bat was always ask the wife first and always give her a little compliment. Just in front of the husband, go act like he's not even there. Don't even look at him first. I learned that always walk up to the wife first and just say, oh my God, I love your earrings. Like, can I get you another Coors Light, honey? And she would always just be like, oh my God, yeah, thanks, whatever. Like, and even the most sour woman, after a few rounds of me just being so nice to her that she could spit, eventually warmed up to me. So, it's, you have to, you gotta be nice. I know it's just basic kindergarten stuff, right? But, I've been hog farming in the desert too long. It's safer for me to block them than me end up in the news. Oh, Amber. Women can be vicious, especially with other women. Exactly, Emma. Like, it's funny, and not all women, but like, and not all women all the time, and I, people look at me and they see, like, oh, tattoos and a lot of jewelry, and the whole whatever. I dress a certain way, whatever. They form a certain judgment about me oftentimes right off the bat. the minute I can get them to actually talk to me, they will like eventually they warm up to me. Um, I'm good at that. Like it's a skill. But and then there's people like well, like Emma's a good example, and Chrissy from Image right off the bat, like just super sweet to me, like no judgment, no cattiness, no nothing, just like very welcoming, wonderful, beautiful women that were just like, hey girl, what's up? Come hang out. Like, and I guess like in the me on the inside, just the inner nerdy girl, you know, from elementary school, just like I don't know. I guess I just still in my head, I'm always like the last for dodgeball, you know, like nobody wants to sit in my corner, you know. I guess that's just my where my brain goes, you know. But yeah, so like, but anyway, that was the whole thing. It's like honestly, like we all run into like some people that are gonna be bad tempered or going through a bad day, but it's you know, and not to boil it down to like a meme, but you never know what somebody's going through, and it doesn't cost a dime to be kind. And if somebody's going out of their way to be vicious after you try to be nice, and it's starting to get to you, chip away at you, you just tell them, you know, sorry for what you're going through. I I hope you're gonna be okay, and walk away, you know. But it's hard sometimes, you know. Yeah, it's hard. Like I don't really don't think you're right, Sunny. Like yeah, I got bullied in school big time, like big time, in a variety of ways. Like I was not popular. Mm-mm. No, I'm still not popular. But ask my husband. He can barely tolerate me. But yeah, like it's just you know, it's true. And then I get after Frankie because I'm like, don't you be a mean girl. Because, you know, here she is, this pretty little blonde, she's super popular and all the boys like her and I'm like, don't be that girl. Do not be that girl. You be nice to everybody, you know, but you stand up for yourself too. This by no means be a it's not a lesson to be a pushover by any means, but I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? You gotta like hold your own, but you still gotta be nice about it. Like there's a happy medium there. And I hope I'm teaching Frankie that. Like I think it's harder for women because we're just kind of it's ingrained in us to just be nice. And the only time that we aren't that way is if it's a woman that we consider our peer. Then we're ruthless. And so I think finding a way to get around that and kind of break that stereotypes for a reason sometimes, you know, to kind of break that and to be able to like not be so vicious towards one another for whatever reason, you know, whether it's like, oh, she's prettier than me, or she's thinner than me, or she's, you know, her husband makes more money than mine, or I mean, whatever the reason is that you hate her this week, you know, it's like, you know, they can be horribly mean. I'm sorry you got bullied, Terry. My goodness. Aw. Oh man. Oh, Sam I am says that he understands because he came home after 10 months in Afghanistan too away. Oh, whoops. I misread that the first time. That's bad. That math does not compute. I won't finish reading that out loud. That's true. Yeah, they got to stand up for themselves, but don't ever instigate because exactly because she says they'll not have to deal with her. Exactly. You gotta, you know, don't start it but finish it. You know. But yeah, so that was my, you know, yeah. In theory, Paul. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's the same thing. You know, what you sow, you will reap, and it's true. It's you gotta put it out there. You gotta be nice. And you know, obviously too, like it's like you see one side of me when I'm sitting here essentially talking to myself right now. I mean, I'm picturing talking to you guys in my head, but I'm still just essentially sitting in a room with two dogs. I don't know where the cat is, and talking to myself. And forget where I was going with that. I lost my train of thought. But you know what I mean? Like it's hard sometimes. Like you kind of just yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that was my little like reminder lesson this week about, I feel like it was a very like, it was literally one of those things afterwards that I was just like, oh, all I could think of was like Tim from Ridge Life and like Lessons from the Ridge. I was just like, oh, this is totally like, I'm having a Tim moment right now with this. Like, that was all I could think of. I was like, it's a total Tim moment. But oh, yeah, walking away from bullies, definitely. I'm sorry you got bullied, Doug, at Pole Barn. Yeah, it's like, I swear, we're just like a band of nerds, all of us. We all got picked on. I guess everybody gets picked on to some degree, even maybe even the popular kids. I don't know. But I will tell you this. You'll get a chuckle out of this one, though. So I was not super popular in high school. I had my group of nerdy friends. I did drama. I was on yearbook and I was editor my senior year, like total nerd, right? But I had my little group of nerdy friends. And I've stayed in touch with all of them. I'm still really good friends with some of them. And I went to my high school reunion last year. Well, this 2021 October. We had our reunion, which was our technically still our 20-year reunion, but we were calling it our 20 plus 1 reunion because COVID. So there was a group of the really popular girls standing together. And there's nothing, and I was videoing, right? Still the nerd behind the camera, back on yearbook. Hey, settle down. Hey. Knock it off, Lindsay. No bark. So I'm videoing it, and I kind of remember, like, I was kind of being shy and hanging back from everybody as I'm trying to video. So of course my footage was terrible because I was still being like, 16 years old and nervous. And I go to look at some of the footage, and I swear to LBJ, I'm looking at the footage, and this one girl, like, legit looks me up and down, gives me the stink eye, and like goes back, like, in the camera. And I was like, oh my God, it's totally like I just walked by her in the hallway at high school. Like, I feel like the same thing would have happened, 21 years ago. So you're just funny. It's like some things will just bring you back. But yeah, I was like, it is what it is. But oh, you're so sweet, Amber. Well, you too. You too. I mean, you gotta just call it what it is. Like I know what I am. I'm a girly girl, but I'll go out and wrestle a pig right now. I don't care. I'm not prissy. I guess there's the difference. It's like I'm not prissy, but I'm girly. And I think that's the difference. Like I rather go, like, I was thinking about it today. I was mucking off the pig pen, and I was like, and it was a stupid thought. It was just like I love this. I love what I'm doing right now. I'm mucking out the pig pen. It's like a game with my little pitchfork to get all the pieces of poo on one fork and get it into the thing. Like, it's stupid, but I was like, I'm enjoying this. And then I was redoing bedding, so I was like moving hay because we had a bunch of rain. And I was like, I'm enjoying this. I like, and as I've got like hay up my nose and I'm sneezing.
Hey, you ready to go wrestle a pig?
We're not wrestling a pig right now. We're gonna wrestle a goat in a minute, but
Yeah, we are.
I gotta go do Neil's hooves because I told I bet somebody who's getting him tomorrow, and I was like, I'll give him a little manicure before you pick him up, but I told Mike because I've been doing it, but he's gotten a little bit much for me to handle sometimes, and so by myself, and Mike is never available when I need him to help me for that. So tonight we got to do it. So it is what it is. So I know. I got to get him to fix that. It might let me back in to do it now. I don't know. I got to figure out how to end it. I have no idea. He went back outside. I guess he's not. I guess he's not participating in tonight's evolution, but that's all right. We're basically at an hour anyway. I know. Well, anyway, thank you guys for sticking with me through my stupid having to change over. So, yes, I agree. I love that. I love the way you worded that. Emma from Sunny's Place says women need to learn to embrace their duality, girly and tough, sweet and savage. I love that. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. That is beautiful. Very well said. Very, very well said. I love that. So yeah, so I'm excited. I got my Yurt Dang shirt to help support Corey and Cynthia Davis. And I'm excited. I'm gonna get to see Terry and Mike from MT Homestead in a few months. And I'm still hoping that Emma will make it out there. I know she said she's not going to, but I'm still hoping she might. And yeah, thank you guys. What was that? Oh, nice. See, these, you know what's funny is like everybody's like, how can you do anything? I'm like, dude, these are my tools. I have 10 extra tools. And like, I just always make sure I find a good nail girl that can like make them thick enough and strong enough. And I use these for everything. And I have a little drill because you can get nastiness under it and I can never scrub it all out. So I like use my drill to like drill out the bottom. Keep them trying to clean, you know? Yeah. But yeah, that is what it is. Yeah, so thank you guys. Have a fabulous evening. I'll be posting kind of a fun video this Sunday of a little barbecue and wine tasting that we did from David Dean Cellars that sent us some wine. Kind of, you'll have to see. It was an interesting review there, but we'll see. But yeah, so we post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and we go live every Friday. And enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm ready for it. I'm all about it. Have a fabulous weekend, everybody. I'm gonna go wrestle a goat. Peace.